The unlimited design subscription agency, the productized subscription agency model. I've talked about productizing for years. I think the concept as a freelancer, we got a lot of freelancers here, and we got a lot of small micro agency owners here as well.
Yep.
Building websites for clients, doing design work, doing branding and whatnot.
Yep.
And so the concept of productizing, kind of reframing what it is that you offer and the pricing to changing it so the client knows what they get, what the value is that they get. It's a mechanism for helping that professional communicate their value better. That's what I see it as. But
100%.
then with productized subscription models, that came along and added another layer, another ingredient to the productized model and made it almost seem easy to copy and paste. And quite literally, you can get templates, you can get, plug and play sort of swipe files. You can copy certain designers or you can create your own style.
There's even like framer templates now for like design subscriptions.
Yeah. And so it's touching on a note. And I think the note really at the bottom of it is that professional designers and small agencies, they want to know how to succeed and get a nice steady flow of clients and revenue and do well and not bury themselves in the all the crap, from the RFPs and for like $10,000 to $20,000 projects. So how do we navigate this copy and paste desire to go, oh, if I could just copy that, change the color, the wording and the name, and I can have that sort of success too. How do we change our thinking so that it's not, if I copy and paste, I win, and more something like how you're approaching it. Now you're approaching it, I think, at a level that a lot of people are going to go, whoa, that's admirable and very, very cool. Probably some folks will want to try, but most will go, how can I model what Hunter's doing, but not do some sort of copy and paste that I see everywhere?
First though, let me say this. Do not try and copy what we're doing. It's unrealistic, I think, honestly, right? Like I see so many questions all the time where people are like, how do I get a creator to partner with me? Or like, how do I do this? And my answer is like, you can't. You probably can't, right? Like I want to make it very clear. I am not some guy that's like sitting around, like sending DMs to influential people and being like, can we do a business together? Like, I'm not doing that. My co-founder in this business is Sahil Bloom. Between us, our network is huge. Like we're literally just building businesses with our friends, right? Like it's our process of doing this is like, hey, we were talking to so-and-so, they want to do a business together. Let's see if something makes sense. And we do it and we take it to market, right? Unless that's the situation you're in, like I just wouldn't try and approach the whole creator thing. If you do, like you might end up in a deal structure that just makes no sense for you whatsoever, right? And I wouldn't recommend it. Unfortunately, like unless you have those relationships locked and loaded, like you're going to be playing that standard game of customer acquisition. I'm just grateful and fortunate that after working my absolute like hardest for 15 years, like I built a network to where I could then activate at this point in time and build really great businesses with friends that know that I'm going to take care of their reputation. I'm going to take care of their personal brands. And my number one priority at all times is to protect them. Right. The whole subscription model, Brad, you said something that I love, which is that you thought about productizing a long time ago. Right. I've lived in Chicago for a decade now. When I first moved to Chicago 10 years ago, the way I paid my rent is that I productized my design services. I tell a customer I'm $14,000 a month to work with me. You're going to pay me $7,000 every 2 weeks. And you just send over whatever you got and I'll do it. Right. And back then, like it was even HipChat. Remember HipChat? Right? We'd get on HipChat, they'd send links over, like I'd knock it out. Right. And so I've been productizing my work for, a decade. But then, along the way, I can't think of the guy's name, but the dude that runs Design Joy, he started talking about like, I make, $1 million a year running a design subscription and it's just me. And it's like, dude, if that's the case, hats off to you, man. Like that's awesome. Having like been a designer for 15 years and like, I think before I kind of retired and just became a CEO, I was pretty fucking good at it. I don't know how I could do design for 20 customers and like actually feel like I was delivering my best work. So if he can, then awesome. He's a superhuman. But that to me seems anomalistic. The thing with solopreneurship that gets me, and Justin Welsh is a friend and like love what he does, but solopreneurship is this idea that like basically you're just a freelancer at the end of the day. Unless you have an asset that you can sell that isn't a service, it's a SaaS business or a digital good, you're just a freelancer. So I think the first thing is like making the separation of like, are you doing this because you want to make a really healthy income for yourself for now? And that's something that you're interested in doing for a long, long time. If so, do it, right? Awesome. I support you. I'm happy to like give as much guidance there as I can, but you're not building a business that ultimately you'll be able to exit. Like you're building an income stream that is a job. Right? If you take a vacation, customers don't get serviced. If you get sick, if you get in a car wreck, God forbid, and you're in the hospital, like your income stream is going to stop because your customers aren't being serviced. And I've heard people talk about like, well, I keep it in my terms and conditions that like I can step away. And I just ask myself like, okay, if I'm your customer and I'm paying you X thousands of dollars a month, right? And you tell me that you're leaving for 2 months or 2 weeks for a real vacation, whatever it is, I'm going to tell you that like, I'm not paying for those 2 weeks, right? So then you're losing all kinds of money from your customers, either churning or pausing right then and there. So those are weird things to me to where it's like, yes, you can make a lot of money doing it, but you need to go into it with a real clear understanding of what it is that you're actually building. And you're building a simplified freelancing business at the end of the day, right? Which again, like I want to make it clear, that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's awesome for people to have that opportunity and make a lot of money. What I think is a bad thing is to look at somebody that's really vocal about the amount of money that they're making, right? And just try and say, I'm going to do that too, and just try and copy paste. And so that's my biggest thing, is making sure that people are looking at that model with critical thought. They're being really thoughtful about what they can provide, how they want to communicate value to their customers, and they're setting themselves up with a plan that isn't this like, let me try and make $1 million as one-man designer, but more so like a sustainable plan that's going to be healthy for them, for their family, and ultimately set them up for success long-term in the future. And I'm just not seeing a lot of that.
The copy and paste desire, it's tricky because comparing yourself to somebody who, let's say Brett from Design Joy, I think he is a machine, and I think he's able to produce insane levels that most probably can't. Everybody's got their strengths. So there's things that I can do that if you or anyone else tried to do, I would just dance circles around you while smoking a pipe and having a laugh.
Exactly.
Whereas it's not fair. Let's say that, who's that huge dude, the mountain in Game of Thrones?
Oh, Thor Bjornsson or whatever?
Yeah. Huge Nordic, Scandinavian, giant Viking man. It would be like him starting to post on Twitter or YouTube or whatever saying, hey, you know what? I was able to achieve these amazing feats. Mm-hmm. Here's how you can too. And then me, literally half of his height and size in every way, thinking like, oh yeah, I can accomplish that too. And trying to model that and then wondering why it's not working. Whereas something more authentic would have been like, hey, you're not me. You're not going to be able to be like me. But guess what? You're you and you've got your own things. Here's how you can model my work ethic, my ideas, or my whatever it is, and apply it to your situation and be kind of like throwing gasoline on a fire, but your fire, rather than buy my course or buy my membership or whatever, copy my template on how to be me. Exactly. And then wonder why, it's not working.